Wij zijn Sophie en Mart en we zijn hier samen met Hozier voor de exclusieve luistersessie van zijn nieuwe album Unreal Unearthed. Hozier, it's so good to see you.
Thank you, you too. Thanks
so we are, as we're speaking right now, 8 days away from the release of your new album.
Yeah.
How are these weeks?
Yeah, they're good. They've been busy. You know, we're kind of bouncing around Europe at the moment to sort of say hi to a lot of folks, and we've been doing some meet and greets, some listening parties, and it's fun. I'm just looking forward to sharing it. You know?
And for you personally, is that ever tense? Is it more exciting? Is it more scary to put that new album into the world?
I think this time around, I don't know what, you know, I'm not too nervous about it. I think I'm just excited. I think I sat with the album for long enough and I've listened to it enough, and I enjoy the songs. I'm proud of them, and so for me, it's like at this point, I'm just happy to see it out in the world. You know.
Yeah, we're happy too. I actually loved your. It's super old. It's 9 years old, but I watched your Tiny Desk session.
Mm-hmm.
I think 30 times or something.
Wow, thank you so
and
much.
I noticed that you can reach such high notes that are sometimes in your song, sometimes not so much. How do you take care of your voice? Like, what is your routine in that?
Yeah, I do warm up. You know, there was a time, I think when we recorded that, I probably didn't have much of a technique with this, but I warm up quite a bit before a performance if I can, as much as I can. Sometimes like even starting earlier in the day, and I just like warm down after. It's kind of like trying to treat this thing as if you're like it's a sports thing. You know what I mean? You warm it up and then you warm down at the end. It sounds silly, but it's such a small muscle that you kind of neglect. You can neglect it, and then it's you know, you're in trouble. But yeah, I just warm up and try to sort of chill out and warm down afterwards, and not, you know, stay away from certain, you know. I drink a lot of water. You know, that's all.
So no whiskey at all, or is that sometimes?
You know, I not as much as I used to. Yeah, yeah.
And what does chilling out look like for you?
There's not a lot of it this week, but I will say I would just like, if there's a TV show I might catch up with, or listen to music on the bus. I don't know. It's like that thing where you have a busy few weeks and you realize, where do I have hobbies? You know, and then you kind of chilling out. I think usually after shows with the band, people just sort of hang out, listen to music. We'd pass the aux cord or whatever. You know, everybody sets up a playlist, adds a song to it as we go, and we just chill out and talk about music and laugh. You know, so yeah, that's kind of fun. You know, it's right now on touring. That's kind of how the end of a show would go. You know.
Yeah, because we've seen one of your songs go massively viral on TikTok, being put underneath videos of people showing their perfect, I would say getaway spot, their perfect place where they can find peace of mind. If you would not be touring, promoting a new album, what would that place be for you?
Yeah, I gotta say I love my home. I'm from a place called County Wicklow, just an hour south of Dublin city centre, like Dublin city. I was home a few days ago. There's this lovely spot called Glendalough, which is this V-shaped valley with these 2 lakes in it. It's really good for a hike. It's really good just to go and sit and chill out.
It sounds super dreamy too. Glendalough?
Glendalough.
Glendalough.
Yeah,
wow.
Glendalough. Yeah, which kind of in Gaelic, Glendaw. It's kind of it means sort of glen of 2 lakes. Glendaw being 2, loch being lake. You know, Glendalough.
Are you already regretting telling people this now? They'll be flooding this place.
yeah. It might do. I have spoken about it before, but there's. So I think hopefully it's always a little bit. It's always, you know, people come and go, but the place is so still and very quiet. There's a lot of those sort of old round towers. There's a spot of ancient monasteries and stuff. So they used to be built around there. So there's a special buzz to that sort of place. It's very peaceful, you know.
Well, 3FM listeners are super excited about not only your music, but also the person that you are. I mean, they think they know who you are.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of my question, because some artists have this super heavy persona with clothes that are super extreme, or you seem...
I exemplify that. I am. That's me.
Are you, is Hozier privately the same guy as the artist? Is there a difference between it, or how do you see that?
Not really. I think I try to keep things pretty simple with regards, so the whole persona thing is not something that really resonates with me, with the music, the kind of musical tradition that I would come from. It's a little bit outside my field to sort of offer a larger than life sort of persona of myself. I think I'm pretty quiet, when I'm not touring or promoting the music. I just, I think I'm delighted if people know me through the work. But apart from that, it's like, I don't have any interest in being famous or anything like that. Apart from just, it's great that people want to celebrate the work and want to enjoy it. And on that basis, I'm delighted that people know who I am. But I'm not sure exactly who I'm figuring out who I am too as an artist and who I am. So that's like all of us. So.
But is that not also quite a vulnerable place to be, to put all of yourself into music? Because if you create some kind of persona or somebody that you're maybe partly overlapping with, that could be safe. Saying, well, if people don't like my music or don't like who I am, they don't really know me. If you pour everything of yourself into your music, into what you say and what you do, that could be a very vulnerable place to be too.
Possibly, yeah. That's part of the thing, is that if people will, no matter what you do, people will interpret the song in the way that they interpret the song. There's this, I think the listener always finishes the music, finishes the piece, and is the last thing that closes the circle on any piece of art or any piece of music, is the ears that hear it or the eyes that see it. And so for me, there's part of me that accepts that no matter what I do, I'm going to be misinterpreted, and no matter what I do, people will decide for them, will have their opinions about who I am. And so, I just try to be honest about what my intention is behind the work and be myself. And the more I sort of offer or try to offer in a way that feels inauthentic, of like, here's the type of person I am, here's who I am, and offer that more and more and more, I only offer more opportunities for me to be misunderstood. So yeah. And also with the songs, I kind of will always say that there's the me in those songs, and then there is also an allowance I offer myself to let the song be what it needs to be too, and it makes it easier for me to write a song and also talk about a song when I have one degree of separation, where I can say, I oftentimes refer to a piece of music as like, okay, well, the voice in that song, and that being one degree of separation from myself. There is the song, and then there is me as well. So I don't know. I hope that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. Do you want to go through some comments?
Yes. Do you ever read comment sections on YouTube, Instagram? Is that something you look at, or?
I used to, maybe more. I think as I've gotten a bit further into the career, maybe less and less. There's I think very now and then, but sparingly, very sparingly.
Well, we're at your service.
Okay, thank you very much.
Not a problem at all. We have some for you. First one. Hozier could sing the terms and conditions policy and he'd still be my favorite.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. If Apple is hiring, you know what I mean?
I know there's this IKEA catalog online. Somebody read through the whole thing as a sort of podcast.
Oh my God. This must be enormous.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
So we have somebody commenting, Hozier is very deep and internally in tune. His spirit channels his amazing creativity.
Oh.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I don't know what channels what, to be honest. I think, there's, you just feel your way into the work, and sometimes you write the song, sometimes the song writes you, and that's, I'm just fortunate that people resonate with the work and whatever comes out, Yeah, thank you.
The next comment was, Hozier's music just keeps getting better and better.
Thank you.
Do you agree with that statement?
It's a tricky one. I try not to comment on like my work in a way that how people interpret it. It's always going to be up for them to decide about it. I'm proud of these songs. I feel very capable in my abilities to write music right now, and I think I like this. I like this album. I'm proud of the music, and that's all I can say.
how do you feel about listening to older songs of yours? I mean, I know George Ezra or an artist like Arlo Parks have said, I have trouble listening to earlier work. Does that ever happen to you, or is it easy for you to put on older record, be proud of that?
Yeah, no, I don't really listen to my earlier work. I think I resonate with that observation. I think it's like at times I'm developing like a sympathy for earlier work of mine, and like in the same way that you develop a sympathy for your teenage self, you know. And there's the part of you that sort of cringes at your teenage self, and then as you get older and you do some work with that, you're like, actually, you know what, he was doing his best. And I think so yeah, looking back, it does feel like there's a part of you that feels like you're opening up a diary entry from a time when you were a very different person, and you don't necessarily resonate with some elements of it. Sometimes something happens, you come back and you hear stuff that feels new to you, and you find some new thing that's interesting, and it reveals some part of yourself that you weren't aware of years after. But yeah, I resonate with that. I don't listen to my own work. If it comes on the radio and I'm in a taxi, I'll ask. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, change that channel maybe. You know, like, so.
I don't like this guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Well, last one. I think this is really hilarious. So resonate with this. He's such a silly little guy. Love him so much.
You know, before this interview started, I was going to say I'm a very serious man, but like I'm a kind of silly dude. You know, I nearly laid out on this couch for this interview. You know what I mean? I was joking about that. I am, like, I will say, I don't joke a lot. Like, I used to post more on social media, and then I realized, okay, this isn't, like, spending time on social media just, like, depresses me. So, a little bit. So, I don't so much, but yeah, I mean, I have a very silly, chaotic sense of humor sometimes, and, you know. Yeah.
So there is a silly guy inside of you.
Inside of all of us, I feel, but inside of me, definitely. Yeah.
So in a few minutes, your exclusive listening party will start with a few 3FM listeners for your new album, Unreal Unearthed. How do you feel about these listening parties? People checking out your album before it's out. Do you try to see what people think? Do you not at all try to see what people think?
It's a tricky balance of like what people think of it. I think what I've really enjoyed is like doing these Q&As afterwards, and people, they sometimes find connections and stuff that, sympathies between the songs and like the original EP, that the stuff that they would bring to light that I necessarily wouldn't have foreseen, and that's really, really cool. I've realized it's kind of way freer and way happier to just as long as I kind of know what I get out of the songs, and I'm happy with them, and what people think and I just trust that people will resonate with some stuff. They'll, you know, and great. The fact that there's people who are queuing up and happy to get tickets to listen to this album, I'm delighted. That's to me is enough, you know. So it's enough for me not to be a mind reader and try to figure out what people get from it, you know. But yeah.
Well, we're gonna enjoy it a lot. Very excited for the new album. Congratulations.
Yeah,
I hope you also get the time to enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will. And I'll enjoy, especially the Q&A with the fans and stuff, like getting to meet fans, getting to chat to them. I think that to me is like, that's a really fun interaction, and to actually, you know, to face questions and just talk about the work if people want to, and address that. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for talking to us.